Hello everyone, it's Mr. Mackenzie. I am going to be talking to you about Black History Month on this first part of today's assembly. October is Black History Month in the UK every year, and a question people often ask is why have Black History Month in the first place? Now, it's an event that's been celebrated nationwide for more than 30 years, and it was originally set up to recognise the contributions that people of African and Caribbean backgrounds have made to the UK over many generations. Now, though, Black History Month has expanded to include the history of not just Afro-Caribbean black people, but black British people in general. Now, the next slide you're going to see is a few school students down south explaining why Black History Month is important.
Inspires me because he's the first black president.
Usain Bolt inspires me because when he was little, he didn't even really know if he could do it. And some people maybe they weren't even sure of him, and he had loads of practice, and now he became the fastest person.
Rosa Parks inspires me because she stood for her ground and didn't want to go to the back of the bus.
Black History Month is a time to celebrate the people that lost their life fighting for equality between white people and black people.
Back then we didn't really have equal rights than we do now, because back then a lot of people didn't care for other people because of their skin colour.
Black History Month is important to reflect what happened in the olden days and so it wouldn't happen now. People sacrificed their lives to make changes to this world.
I think everybody should live inside of a peaceful and equal world.
Now, the next video is a video that looks at some notable and famous black British people who have been quite successful in their life and have been some of the first black people to hold positions in their jobs.
There have been loads of black people who have helped to make Britain what it is today. Many of them were the first of their time, so here are some firsts that you should know about. The police officer. John Kent was Britain's first black policeman. He was born in Cumbria, the son of a freed slave brought from the West Indies in the 1800s. In 1837, he became a policeman and was known to many as Black Kent because he was one of the only black faces in the area. The politician.
Another new girl, though quite different, is Labour's Diane Abbott, the first black woman MP.
It's when I'm starting a new school. You've got to find your desk, you've got to find a peg, you've got to find out where the cloakrooms are, and you think, gosh, will I ever make any friends?
She was born in London, but her parents came from Jamaica in the 1950s. Diane had a few jobs before this one, including a stint as a breakfast TV reporter. In 1987, she became a Labour MP. The educator.
There's no colour problem at Ring Cross Infant School. Mrs. Yvonne Connolly has to be thanked for that. She's London's first West Indian head teacher, and what a hit she is with the kids.
She got the job in 1969. Yvonne came to Britain from Jamaica as part of the Windrush generation in the early 60s. Some people were shocked to see a black headmistress, so it wasn't always easy, but Yvonne refused to let that bother her.
I was very aware that there were racial tensions in quite a number of schools. I would turn up and somebody would just, I suppose without meaning it, saying, "But you're black." Of course, my reply was, "Yes, I am, but I'm also a teacher."
The journalist. The first black male journalist on TV is someone you may have seen before, Sir Trevor McDonald. He was a journalist in Trinidad and Tobago, but moved to Britain early in his career and became a TV reporter. Sir Trevor has been on our screens for nearly 50 years and even got a knighthood from the Queen for his services to journalism. Yep, he's kind of a big deal.
So that were just some famous black people who have contributed to British society. Now, this year, there have been demonstrations in Britain and around the world in response to the death of George Floyd, who was a black American man who was murdered by police officers. Now, in the UK, the Black Lives Matter demonstrations have called for an end to systemic racism, which means that people aren't treated fairly because they're black, and it's something that's endemic throughout society. Now, some show of support for this has been shown by people such as Premier League footballers who have taken a knee in solidarity with the movement, and you can see that there in the picture. Now, Black Lives Matter protests around the world sparked a commitment among many individuals and organisations to educate themselves about Black history, heritage and culture, to try and develop an understanding of racism and stand in solidarity against it, and to show that they are against racism in Britain and across the world. So what's happening this October in the UK? There's a variety of things going on to mark Black History Month. One of the more interesting ones I found was that black women launch Instagram takeover for UK's Black History Month. Now, this is hashtag Share the Mic campaign, which aims to amplify black female voices and magnify their stories. So you have black women including Bernardine Evaristo and June Sarpong, who will take over the Instagram accounts of 70 prominent white women, including the actress Gwyneth Paltrow and Victoria Beckham, for a day in a campaign to amplify black female voices and work. Now, this launched on the 1st of October, which is the first day of Black History Month, and the hashtag Share the Mic campaign aims to magnify black women's lives, stories and cultural contributions through Instagram. So if you're interested in that and you've got Instagram, stick in the hashtag Share the Mic and this campaign will come up. Now, in Scotland, there's Black History Month, and the website blackhistorymonthscotland.org is where you can find out about all the events taking place. Due to COVID, these are mainly online, so they're all online events, but there's a huge variety that you can find on there if you're interested. blackhistorymonthscotland.org. Also, another interesting thing I found that's happening is that throughout the UK, post boxes are being painted to honour Black Britons. So, for example, in Glasgow, the post box has been painted black and has information and a picture of the footballer Walter Till. Now, he was the first black player to sign for Rangers and also played for Northampton Town and Tottenham Hotspur. He was also the first black officer in the British Army, as well as the first black officer to lead white troops into battle in the First World War. Some of you who did Project Kitbag a couple of years ago may have learnt a little bit about Walter Till, and so you may remember that already. For his bravery, he was recommended the Military Cross and died a hero in the last Battle of the Somme in 1918, aged just 29. Another thing that is coming up is Wear Red Day. Each October, Show Racism the Red Card holds its annual Wear Red Day. This is the 6th annual Wear Red Day, which takes place across England, Wales and Scotland on Friday the 16th of October. Wear Red Day is a national day of action which encourages schools, businesses and individuals to wear red and donate £1 to help fund anti-racism education for young people and adults across the UK. Every penny raised during the Wear Red Day enables our education and campaign workers to work with more young people and adults across the UK to challenge racism in society. So on the 16th of October, if you want to wear red, although I have just realised that that's potentially when we are on our October break, I will get back to you on that. So the next thing you can do as individuals, if you're a reader, then Miss Smith in the library has a lot of books that look at racism, that look at life and achievements of black people, that are written by black authors, that feature black characters. If you're interested in this, please go and see Miss Smith in the library and she will have a ton of books that she can recommend. There's also a lot of good stuff on Netflix that you can check out. A lot of them is based on books that have been written already. Now, in Castlebrigg, you may have noticed the Black History Month display that's in the Social Subjects corridor. If you haven't noticed, go and take a look. It's got some stuff on there, including books, some information sheets about some prominent black people in history, and it's got some quotes from Miss Marquardt's S3 as to why Black history matters. In RME, you were looking at Benjamin Zefahana, and he, with Mrs. Allen, and in Mandarin, Miss Walker has a variety of things planned for S1 through to S4. Now, you can also personally do the following, and one of these is a challenge that I am hoping some of you are up for. If you are up for it, you could research a black British person and create a piece of work that celebrates their achievements. The best ones will get a hot chocolate with the head nomination and a positive class chart. Please hand your entries into me, Mr. Mackenzie, before the end of October. If you don't want to take part in that, as I've mentioned, you can read a book, see Ms. Smith in the library for recommendations, And there are loads of films, TV shows and documentaries on Netflix and BBC iPlayer that you can watch. Now, the last slide, before we move on to the next part of the assembly, is a bit of advice to help you if you're upset about racism.
Hi, I'm Laverne. There's been a lot in the news recently about racism, and this may have made you have many different feelings. I'm here to share some of my thoughts with you about how to cope with this. If you've been treated in a racist way, then speak up. You need to tell your parents or talk to a teacher, and they will help you understand that you've done nothing wrong, and that in fact you've done the absolutely right thing in talking to them about it. Remember that feeling upset or angry about what you see or hear can be a way of showing that you care and you want to change. Your actions can make a difference. If you see somebody being treated unkindly or unfairly because of the colour of their skin, tell your parent or a teacher. Hearing about what happened to black people in the past can be upsetting, but you can help make sure there's a fairer and more positive future for everyone by understanding that there needs to be change. Most of all, remember how important it is to treat others how you would like to be treated. Stopping racism is everybody's business, so make it your job to challenge the things you see and hear.